Well, hello, good evening, happy Valentine's Day. My name is Amber Jacobs, and I'm the owner of Amber Design. I own a boutique design agency here out of Marysville. I live and work out of Marysville, and I own this boutique design agency focusing on branding and marketing efforts. So you can go to www.awesomeamber.com to check out my portfolio and a little bit more about me. So that's what I do. I help clients figure out everything from their logo, the foundation of their brand, conceptually what that means, represents them, to their brand identity, which obviously riffs off of the logo, to the marketing assets. And that could be everything from, your website, responsive website design, e-commerce or other, to packaging design. So what you go on a big box shelf like Best Buy or the grocery store, to, print, which could be trade show booths or brochures, to digital, which is display ads and email marketing. So I can help from the bottom up and flush everything out that is marketing and design. I tend to focus on more visuals, or what it looks like visually to consumers. And then I will pair myself in a co-op of preferred vendors with either copywriting or strategy or development. So I kind of stick to my lane, that is graphic design. And when I need support or my clients need support, I will bring on the appropriate vendor to help give my client all the needs they have. All right, so let's see, I've had a business license since 2008. I had the awesome privilege of graduating during the recession. It was the best thing ever. And so it took a lot of grit, took a lot of character, and had to do quite a bit of fake it to make it in order to continue to be a graphic designer during a recession. So I have worked, I've been hired, fired, let go, laid off, everything from 2008 to 2013 with the ebbs and flows that was the recession. It really was not amazing, but I can definitely say it was character building. So I've worked for big agencies such as Publicis, Draft FCB, Wonderman, GLG. So I've worked at a lot of big design agencies or broadcast agencies. And then I've also worked in-house at smaller, at other companies like Nordstrom and Sports Art and a couple others. I've also been a contractor at Microsoft. I've done 2 tours at Microsoft, one on their Windows.com team and one on the branding team, which was fun. And then I've done some time at AT&T and lots of time with T-Mobile. So I've got a lot of fun, privilege of working with a lot of great companies, a lot of great brands, a lot of great visuals. So with that, I'd done all of this time in all these agencies. And then somewhere along the way, about like 5 years in, I was like, I don't think I have it in me to be a butt in a chair. So I got kind of stuck in the cog of like, well, hours worked is hours paid. And I just kind of slowly discovered that I was not going to be a very good employee. So it probably took about 5 years in that I was like, I don't think I'm going to be good at this. And so I got more curious about other parts of the business because I was a designer in a big global agency. And I'd be like, well, how much is this like client T-Mobile like paying for this? Like, how did we get this work? Like, what is business development? What does the contract look like? Okay, and I'm doing this work and like, how much are they paying for this on retainer? Tell me what a retainer is. And so I got very curious about other parts of the business that was more than just graphic design. And so I started getting kind of nosy and asking a lot of questions, and, probably had it in me to do that. So I guess one of my going outs was I had a micromanager who was like, well, I saw you take a little bit of a break today. And I need you to work an extra 30 minutes. And I was like, well, is my work done? Well, yeah. Does it look beautiful? Well, yeah. What else do you have me to do? He's like, well, I don't have anything for you to do. I just need you to stay for an extra half an hour. And I was like, okay, well, I'll sit here and twiddle my thumbs if that's what you want me to do, but I'm not doing anything. I've asked you if there's anything I can do for you, and there's not. So I'll sit here and pretend to look busy. That's when I knew I was not cut out for a typical office job. So eventually I thought I was at my dream job. I was doing fitness. I was working graphic design for a fitness brand, fitness equipment company. And I thought it was a match made in heaven. I had redone their website, their branding, their trade show booths, their email marketing, their display ads, the whole 9 yards. after a year and a half. So like, thank you for everything, but we're going to hire a junior designer at half the rate, and bye. And I was like, oh, devastated. So see you in the business. And that's what really launched me into going like tired of being, not in control of my destiny. And I was like, never again. So I wrote a business strategy, business plan. And the plan was kind of simple. At first, how do I make a 6-figure salary, work from home, and not be, far away from my future kids? Because at the time I was just married and we were planning on a family. And how do I meet some really awesome people and go direct and make the salary I want, the lifestyle that I want? And that was really about it. Like that was kind of like the bones of my business strategy. So eventually I took 3 years, worked towards from 2015 to 2018, worked towards like working for other people, working for placement agencies, and then flipping the switch to going full-time independent into myself. So when I moved to Marysville was when I was like deuces on commuting into the downtown Seattle's or the Bellevues for those contract design roles, because that was just not going to work for me. So I started going direct with businesses, medium to, small to medium businesses at first. And now I've grown my business and reputation enough to work with a little bit larger and bigger businesses in the area. I don't work with enterprise level because they typically have the monies and the teams to do their own thing. They don't mind paying huge global design agency rates. So I tend to work with those types of folks. So here I am now, 2022, and I now have a small team of designers. I have about 3 or 4 contract designers that come in and out, 2 project managers and an office coordinator. So I went from 2018 to now, in 4 years, been able to go from a solopreneur to now a business owner. And it was hard and fun and exciting and scary all at once, but it was definitely worth it. And it's better for my family, and it's better for me, and it's better for my future. So that's some of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's kind of like long story short of how I did it and what I did and what I'm doing right now. So does anybody want to tell me what perhaps what you might be doing your class project on as far as your company?
So I was thinking about talking about the Seattle Kraken and how they started.
Yeah. And how they started?
Yeah, because they're a brand expansion team. So my thought was their budget to start the acquisition of the right, and so kind of like their budget plan and how they got where they're at.
Yeah, that's a fun story actually. Do you know much about it yet?
Not a lot, just starting to research
think about it. Yeah, how they discovered. Well, obviously a lot of planning involved with the city, and that kind of bet how they got the team in here and getting approval and that whole 9 yards, and then the private monies come in, and I can mention the whole thing.
But yeah, I mean, it was a long process to get a team.
A very long process, and then name discovery, and then choosing the brand agency that did that logo. It took them 1.5 years to design that logo.
Wow.
that
I didn't know.
Well, yeah, because it took them, there were so many, cooks in the kitchen, business decision makers. The league has to approve it. There's a lot of approval processes.
Okay.
Pretty intense. But yeah, that's a good one. That should be a fun thing to learn about. I like to learn more about that. I love hockey, so that'd be fun.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I know a lot about it because I grew up, my dad played hockey until I was about 13, and I played Pee-wees. So I'm a hockey fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Kraken was a big deal to my dad. So therefore it became a big deal to me.
Yeah. In fact, I was talking to the professor that they had like 30,000 pre-order season tickets, but they only have what I think 17,000 seats or something. So there's so much
interest.
Yes.
How will they deal with that? Well, that's going to be a fun research project. I'll be curious to know what you come up with how much you think their budget is.
Yeah.
Fun. Well, that's a good project. That's a good one to kind of research. So from there, this morning, it was kind of funny. I was talking to Teresa today. I was like, well, she just did a podcast. I recorded a podcast today on marketing and sales funnels and what that kind of means and how I work with my clients. So a little snippet into this, and that might help you guys think about building out your strategy, your marketing strategy and ideas for your different businesses. So we've all probably heard of a sales funnel. And we all kind of do it innately without really knowing what exactly it is. So some of the things, one of the first things I have all of my clients do when I intake them is a discovery questionnaire. Some of the things are like, tell me about how you got started in business. Tell me your story. Tell me what, your products are, the services, either products or services. What are they? What do they do? But then I get deeper, and it's like, why you versus the competition? What problem do you solve for these people? And then you kind of go down the list, right? So what problem do you solve? What do you do? Why do I need it? Why do I care? And then it goes into proof is in the pudding. So you got your stats, your certification, your testimonies. And then tell me again why I need it, because it's how it's going to impact my life, improve things, this and that's, whatever's, and then buy today. So it's kind of like we all kind of do this no matter the industry. We create that awareness. A company or a brand creates that awareness about the product or company. They create that interest of like, this product or service will improve your life. Aren't these sweatpants so amazing? You want these sweatpants. They're not only are they comfortable, but they are sustainable. They're made out of bamboo. It's sustainable. It's better for the environment, right? So you create that interest and awareness. And then, you have like the client considers it, and they look at the competition. It's not even like sustainable and fashionable. It's like looks cool, and you'll have it tomorrow, and it's like all these checks all these boxes, and it looks rad, and moms are wearing it, dads are wearing it, everybody has to have it, and I can't wait to have it. So I'm going to purchase it. Not only when I go to their website, I'm also going to get 20% off for subscribing. So, and then once I got you in my sales funnel, you almost have it in the cart. I'm also going to upsell you with the sweatshirt, hoodie, and socks, right? So that's that upsell, cross sell. So it's kind of like a fun game we play in marketing. I never get off or out of a call or out of a big project without teeing up my next project. So that's kind of like the game that I play too as a designer. I'm constantly having to market myself, even like, why Amber Design? Why me versus the next guy? You could throw a rock at the next graphic designer, but why are you going to hire me versus the other guy is what I have to prove point. And then my portfolio speaks for itself. My testimonies speak for itself. But then ultimately it's going to come down to pricing and, who do you actually want to call and talk to on the phone? Who do you actually want to go out to coffee with? So there's going to be a lot of reasons why you're going to hire me versus the other guy. But I definitely could say I won't be your cheapest option, but I'm going to be the best option, and you're going to like the way you look. So Charles and everybody's like, just chuckling at me because I'm kind of a ham when it comes to being on the phone with people. So I have a little bit too much fun with my clients, but that's probably the reason why it's just way too much fun. I've actually had a lot of fun working with my new Australian clients because they like a little razzing. So it's been a lot of fun. I like what I do. Anybody have any like fun little side note questions for me about my business, what I do, how I do it? I'm all open book here.
What was like the hardest part of starting your own business? I mean, I know you said you had like those struggles, getting laid off or fired, or it just wasn't the right fit, but like starting your own thing, I feel like, I mean, it's obviously a ton of work, but what was like the absolute hardest thing? Was there ever a point where you were like, I don't know, maybe I should just not do this and go back to,
yeah, it's a big decision to make. Like, not everybody's cut out to be a business owner. Truly, like it's a lot to it, right? Like you're not just doing your service. Like I'm not just doing graphic design anymore. I'm now going to be business development. I'm going to write contracts and proposals. I'm going to do the work back schedules, project management, accounts payable, and taxes. So you have to be wanting to do okay with doing all parts of the business and staying silly organized because if you're not, you're going to have one heck of a tax season. So, I mean, I would say it's not for everybody, but it's going to be hard to get there, but it's definitely worth the hard work. I would say that I kind of had in my gut that I knew I wasn't cut out to be an employee working for somebody else, and that if I didn't at least try it, I would regret it. So I kind of like upon moving to Marysville, I looked at my husband and I was like, give me 2 years. If I don't make X dollars salary-ish, throughout the year, if I don't do what I needed to make, I will go take a job. But at least I know I tried. Like, I'm going to put it all in, give me 2 years. If I fall flat on my face, I'll go take a real job. I'll go take a job working for somebody else. And so I knew what sort of amount of monies I wanted to make. And, you know, obviously you have high months, low months and whatever's, but as long as you average out to the salary amount you want to make, I was like, that's going to be making it. So I kind of had like certain, you know, financial benchmarks that I had to make. But luckily for me, I had the security of knowing that my husband did make a paycheck, a solid, steady paycheck with the medical benefits. So I didn't have as much risk as maybe I would have had being completely on my own. But because I had had that recession experience and probably my athletic experience of being in sports, that like hustle and drive, that competitiveness as an athlete, I don't think I knew how to fail either. Because I think the fear of failing was like a high motivator for me. And I did not want to fail. So once I kind of put my head into it, I was like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm going to dial for dollars. I'm going to hustle hard, and I'm going to make this a business success because I don't want to look at myself in 2 years and fail. So I guess that hopefully answers your question. Any other thoughts, Teresa, that you'd kind of like me to explain for your class with some of their projects that they got coming up?
Today we're mostly looking at across media platforms and figuring out what works well for different businesses. So I feel like everyone has more of a shotgun approach, and we were talking through, do you need to be on all platforms, or would it make more sense to only focus on a couple media online? And then how do you blend that with your print marketing, and are you doing print marketing, and figuring out a blend overall and recommendations that way? So I feel like a lot of people use a shotgun approach, and then being able to measure the results, I think, is really difficult as well.
Great
Figure
one.
out what worked, what didn't work.
Comes down to marketing strategy. So I can go 2 routes with this, but anyways, we're going to go with route number 1. We've all heard of probably target demographic, right? So you know your product, you know who your target demographic is, who you're selling to. You're selling to businesses. So are you a fitness manufacturer or a supplement company and you have to sell to distributors that then sell it to consumers? Or are you selling to straight to consumer? And those are 2 different personality types. You've got business owners, so like maybe a distributor sales representative or a buyer at a grocery store or restaurant or supplement company. And they're like, why do you know, and they're selling your product into a place, or they're going direct to a consumer. And those are such different audiences. How I would sell to a distributor at a, you know, inside sales rep or a sales rep at a distributor, ultimately then to a grocery store, a supplement, you know, consumer retail space would be quite different than B2C, business to consumer. And so those strategies are very, very different because what's going to make one tick versus the other one tick are quite different. So I guess that would be your first differentiator is B2B, B2C. Then it is understanding your product and service. So let's go with a product. How is this product? Why do I need it? So like you're going through social media and you're flying through, what's going to make the consumer actually stop and pay attention, right? So it's like, you know, why do I care about this product? How is it going to impact my life or make it better? And then is it the price? Is it how it's going to like improve my life? Is it so amazing that I got to have it right now? Like, why do I need it? Why do I care? Right. So, and then it's kind of like that, but then it's also like, who can afford my product? Who can afford my service? Is it for everyone or only certain sums? You know, because that kind of matters. Is the price point of my unit of my product affordable for everyone? Or is there a payment plan situation to that way it is accessible to everyone? Or is it for, you know, is it for the distributor who buys in bulk and that's what's going to make them tick? Or is it to consumer and it's like this high, super cool, lovely thing that I have to put a payment plan on because, you know, it really doesn't matter what it is. Cause like I've seen, you know, from rich to poor afford an iPhone or a Samsung. We somehow afford these things, even though they're, you know, $8,000 to $1,000 each, but we somehow figure out how to afford certain things. So we go on payment plans and we're all kind of warm and cozy with these types of ideas, but on other things that we're not so warm and fuzzy about. So it kind of just depends, you know, how you want to tee it off as being an indisposable thing that we must have. And so typically people, it takes them a few times to see a product before they actually want to purchase said product. So you kind of have to know where are you going to go, B2B, B2C, and then how are you going to market to them is different. So sometimes you'll hear target demographic and they break it down by age, race, gender, and salary are some of the big differentiators of how they break down demographic and how they sell to them. Typically how you sell to certain age groups and demographics are not the same way you do others. An older demographic are more comfortable with print and not so savvy in technology. So you're going to market to the older demographic differently. They're going to market to the younger demographic because there are tech differences. For example, how I would market to even men and women, we have tendencies and preferences. We also have a tendency on how, everything from color to what makes us tick, emotional versus unemotional, how we buy. So there are just tendencies, not always, but general tendencies when it comes to marketing and what we favor. So there's just, once you can kind of nail down some of that, then you can kind of dive into the marketing and visual strategy to target them. It's really kind of like when it comes to social media, it's not, you see those products and it's like these awful pictures and whatever, but you have to create, show them how it's going to impact their lifestyle, how it's going to fit in and make their life easier, right? If you take this supplement or buy this product, your life is going to be infinitely better because you have it. Or it's going to be a feel-good thing, right? So that's B2C versus the business person, you're going to market to them quite differently. It's not so emotional. It's brass tacks. It's, how much is it going to cost me? Where's my tier break and price? And how many units can I get at a time? And how many deliveries can I get a week? So how I'm going to market to B2C is very different than how I'm going to market to B2B. So just kind of knowing your demographics and what makes them tick and their bottom lines is just good. It's just good knowledge to have.
I have another question for you.
Bring it on.
I don't know anything about graphic design, but how did you do your marketing? How'd you, you worked in graphic design for a while, but how did you know where to start? Were you really flexible? Did you do online, Instagram or some kind of ads? How did you do that?
Yeah, no problem. Good question. So I went to school. I got a 4-year university degree from Western Washington University in graphic design and a minor in print production. And so with that, I started out in the industry working for other people and I built up a reputation, right? So never burn a bridge, always be polite, kill them with kindness. And, always thank them for the opportunity and see you in the biz, because the musical chairs that is the industry of business is we all like to play musical chairs ever so often, and we all like to go up and then settle back down. So maybe that future person that you might not have liked before could be your future boss or the future place you love to work for. And because now that they're gatekeeper, you will never work there again. So be careful what you say and do. I think business integrity means a lot, right? So that was one thing I learned as a young person, is that business integrity coming in clutch. I like coming in clutch. I like saving the day. And most people love that too about a personality. So kill them with kindness, stay positive, stay bubbly, kill them with kindness, and always pull through. When you say you're going to do, you better do it. So you kind of slowly build up your reputation, people remember you, right? So I've been in industry, since working as a designer since 2007, right? So people remember me because she was really positive and bubbly to work with. She never said no to even the most crappiest of jobs I would throw her way. She took even the crap jobs as a junior and didn't put up, much grumble about it. And that reputation kind of stayed with me. So then when I got more more mid-level or senior level designer, they remembered me and were like, we might have given her those shit jobs before, but hey, I got this really good job and I want to hire Amber because she's got a great positive attitude and I want to work with her. She's going to do a good job. She's going to show up on time. She's going to deliver on time, and she's going to do it all with good charisma and professionalism. So that's kind of how I just built my reputation over time. And then doing good work throughout the time. So you kind of have both running for you. And then that's how I had to slowly build up my business. I guess some of the things I did just kind of intuitively was kind of staying genuine. Like I would keep top of mind. That's kind of like my dialing of dollars. I would, after every interview, I'd write a handwritten thank you card. We're still digital. I'd write a hand thank you greeting card, send it in the mail. They remembered that. I send a Christmas card every year. Everybody gets one. Put myself back to top of mind again every year. So those little things that you do along the way that you keep yourself at the top of their inbox. Hey, how's your dog? How's your wife? How's your kids? You remember certain little things along the way. Hey, how you healed up? You had hernia surgery a couple months ago. Y'all healed up? You feeling better? You remember little things about the personal lives, and you genuinely care about them and what they're doing. Hey, I know you moved to Boise. How's it feeling? Are you feeling good about it? How's your kids? How's Danielle doing? You pay attention and you write notes and you care. And then you follow up with them about it. So it's like, wow, I worked with a lot of designers where they did never know my dog's name was Lucy, right? And it's just like genuinely caring about their lives and what they do and staying top of mind. In my business, I write a thank you card after any kind of engagement that I have with a prospect or partner. I send a branded client appreciation box after every big project. That includes an Arctic tumbler, a bag of espresso beans, pencils, and decals and different various things as a thank you for working with me after any big project. Every quarter, I send out a newsletter that includes a little bit like business tips, tricks, funny little things about blog life, portfolio updates, and now a podcast. So quarterly, I don't try to annoy people, right? I don't send out marketing emails every gosh darn day or week, but every quarter I send out a little thing that brings me back to top of mind. I also think about the sales throughout the year, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. What are people trying to do during those quarters, right? Q1, people are just getting their budgets going. They're wiping off their sleepy tears, and whatever from the holidays. And they're just getting back in action. And they're asking for a lot of reviews or a lot of estimates and proposals. By Q2, they're ready to rumble, yo. So Q2, you hit a spike and you're turning in business and you're cranking now. So that's Q2, ready to rumble. Q3, you're like, oh shit, we're going to get the end of the year. We better make sales. So now they need more work. And then Q4, you're trying to round off the year and make sales by the end of the year. So as long as you kind of know what you're doing Q1 through Q4 with targeting me as a B2B business, I know what they're trying to do throughout the year. So I position myself to do well during those quarters by a newsletter, marketing on social media, blogging and podcasts that I'll coordinate those efforts to bring in the monies. And that's how I do it.
Thank you for that.
So I just try to think what my target demographic, what they're trying to accomplish during those quarters. If I can put myself in their position on what they're trying to do during those quarters, I know I can position myself to be a solution to their problem. And if you can position yourself to be the solution to their potential problem, you've won.
Yeah. Do you work with small businesses and entrepreneurs too?
All the time. Yeah.
Okay.
I help a lot of people with their sales funnel and strategies, branding, whether it be awareness or sales goals, marketing goals, help them define what their value propositions are for their products and or services. So it's not always like a cool product. Sometimes it's a service. I'm a graphic designer. Or, I've got clients that are financial advisors, right? So there's lots of financial advisors out there, but why am I going to work with this guy versus the next guy? So it's just understanding your product or service and what sets you apart from your competition. And why do you matter? Why do I care about you versus the next guy? So once you kind of position yourself to be a solution and to set yourself apart from those things, then you can kind of create a strategy around that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You think all of your follow-ups help your business stay active?
Oh yeah. Top of mind, top of inbox. Every quarter I always get an email or two. Either like, oh yeah, how's it going? Long time no talk. Haven't heard from you in a little while. And it's always a case for me to kind of ping back to top and say hello. I also have like, I know who my target demographic is. I work a lot with marketing directors and CEOs. Well, guess who I ping on like a quarterly basis? This girl gives a phone call to all of my like hot lead people. Because also marketing directors, they pick up and they sit back down, pick up and sit back down like every 2 to 3 years. And so whether it's this business or the next business that they're with, I always constantly call them because they're always with somewhere new and there's always graphic work to be done.
So you gotta stay in front of the curve, right? In front of the wave.
Yeah. But then like do it with genuine. Like don't be like a sleazy salesman about it. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like I always, I'm smart about it, but I do it in like a strategic and like professional and friendly way. So I got like, I got notes on all of my clients, like how old their kids are, what's the name of their dog, what's their spouse's name, little quirky things I learn about them along the way. I add it to my notes and my contact and always make sure I ask because I don't want to, I genuinely don't want to forget. Like I want to remember their birthday. I want to remember that they celebrated an anniversary. I want to remember. So it comes from a genuine place. Like, my contractors to have 2 that just celebrated their year anniversary with me. I wanted to remember that. I put it in my calendar. I wanted to send them a card and a gift after a year with me. Like it's just, I really want to remember and I want to care. And so I put things in my calendar and in my contacts to remember and care. And those people will always remember that. Put that away. Use it for later. Promise it works. Digital world, we're also inundated with emails and social media that every once in a while, a handwritten thing goes a hell of a long ways. True story. I keep a box of blank thank you cards in my glove box of my car. And if I get done with something, I just quickly write it up and send it. Because I don't want to forget to do it.
That's a genuine gesture. Genuine.
You're welcome. Because I genuinely care. No, it's just fun. It's just, I like it and I care and I want to do good. I want to be a better business owner. I want to be a better mom, a better business owner, a better friend. It's the things I want to do. So that's what I work hard at being.
I was thinking maybe you'd like to maybe give advice for young entrepreneurs or maybe a takeaway for them or education in general.
Well, I think it goes back to just you're struck out on your own, figure out what lifestyle goals you have, how much your, expenses are to do business, and maybe you need a business loan or maybe you can self-fund yourself, but kind of know, what money you need to make as a business owner to sustain the lifestyle that you want. And depending on, what that is, that dollar amount that's going to sustain you in the lifestyle that you want, then you need to make a business plan to support that. So who can afford those products or services, understand who can afford those and need those, and then market towards that, and then figure out what you can do from there. So it's just kind of like understanding, yes, the fiduciary, but then understanding what product or service you have and what makes it different and special that other people are going to switch to it or use it indifferent to what they're currently using and having. So if you can differentiate yourself, your product or service to the competition or what's currently on the market, those business value propositions, features or functionalities, if you can define those, you can define what's going to differentiate you. And that's how you market that's how you market your product and service. So once you understand that, you're going to be golden, I promise. And then just keep fighting a good fight. Dial for dollars and hustle hard. Get yourself out there, go network, go say hi, join a business group. I'm a part of the Economic Alliance in Snohomish County, so get out into your community and go, shake some hands and kiss some babies. It'll go a long way. It's a lot of work, but you can do it. It's possible. We do it every day. I'm a mom of 2 kids. I own and operate a home business. Got an awesome partner. It's doable. Priorities. You can do it. Doesn't happen overnight. Takes a lot of grit, but you can do it. Open to learn, open to share, open to change, alter something that doesn't work. You know, you got to keep moving and stay flexible. That life Tetris is sometimes not always friendly. Sometimes
But,
Tetris gets you and the blocks go bananas and you have to start all over again. But guess what? You get better at the Tetris game and you get really good at it. You get pro status eventually.
What kind of sacrifices would a young business owner stepping into that
Yeah. You know,
self-employment
I had to make the transition slowly over time because I was a W-2 employee for years, right? Either through placement agencies or working with companies. So, you know, for a long time, I was 100% W-2. And so I had to work towards 1099s, right? So in 2016, it was like 50-50, 50% W-2s and only, 50% was through like direct with businesses, 1099s. And then the next year was an 80-20. 80% 1099s working directly with businesses and 20% contracts working with placement agencies. And then finally made the full switch. But it took nights and weekends to get there, to kind of like create that like side hustle business working direct with clients to gain that reputation, portfolio, look and feel to appeal to the target clients that I really wanted. So it took nights and weekends of creating, conjuring up my portfolio and reputation on nights and weekends to build it up enough to be able to get rid of the W-2 gigs and go 100% of my business working direct with companies on a 1099 basis. So it took, probably a 3-year transition to get there, to go 100%. But that was just the way that I did it. It's no right or wrong, but that's what I had to do in order to kind of slowly make the transition very, incremental. But again, I probably had, I had a supportive husband that had a steady gig with medical. So I had a little less pressure, but mostly the pressure on myself not to fail because I don't like failing.
Any right person does. So
Like,
that's
I don't
good.
want to fall on my face. I don't want to say I messed up and didn't hack it. So I guess that will to not want to fail was my ultimate go-getter.